It's been 7 weeks since Saudi Arabian journalist Jamal Khashoggi entered the Saudi consulate in Turkey and never came back out again. Since then, there's been gruesome talk of hitmen, murder, even bone saws, yet no one really knows what happened. So, who is Khashoggi? Why did someone want him dead? Why does it matter to us? And most importantly, who done it? In the last few years, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS, has been reforming and modernising Saudi Arabia. For example, letting women drive, focusing on green issues, and opening up the economy. Journalist Khashoggi was a thorn in the prince's side. He spent his time discrediting this reformist sort of image, pointing instead to locked up political opponents and the brutal bombing campaign in Yemen. In 2017, he fled to the US, fearing for his safety, and continued his criticism from there. On the 2nd of October, Khashoggi walked into the Saudi Arabian consulate in Turkey to get divorce papers for his upcoming marriage and disappeared. At first, the Saudis denied knowing where he was, but over the following days it became clear he had died in the consulate. Since then, the Saudis have had to keep changing their story as grisly details have been drip-fed to the media by Turkey. President Erdogan of Turkey, seizing the opportunity to bring down the new golden boy of the Middle East, has released images of a 15-man hit squad, including members of the prince's private security, a bone saw expert, and the head of forensics. He's also revealed appalling recordings of Khashoggi being murdered, which other international leaders have heard and confirmed are real. Khashoggi can be heard suffocating and pleading for his life. It's believed that then his body was chopped up and dissolved in chemicals. Horrifying, right? As the media exploded, the Saudis tried to contain this by first saying it had happened by accident. Then they admitted it was murder, but said that it was some eager employees trying to please their masters. But then Turkey released a phone call made from the Saudi consulate to someone in Saudi Arabia that said, tell your boss, essentially it's done, mission accomplished. Who that boss is what everyone's talking about. Various nations are pushing for an investigation. Turkey is convinced that MBS ordered this himself. And Trump, well, he believes, like the Saudis, it was rogue killers. So why does all this matter internationally? Why is everyone dragging their feet when it looks like that Saudi Arabia just carried out an extrajudicial killing so gruesome it wouldn't be out of place on a CSI episode? Saudi Arabia is one of the main allies in containing and opposing Iran. It's also a major investor in our economies and a major buyer of weapons. Acknowledging the evidence would put serious money at stake. Even Trump has basically admitted that he's reluctant to jeopardize the economic relationship they have over this. This is more of a PR crisis than a humanitarian one. The more details that emerge that link the Saudi Arabian regime to this murder, the more desperate governments become to try to find a story to sell to their own populations, like us, in order to continue this cozy political and financial relationship. Spain and Canada, among others, have already cancelled arms deals, and a huge economic conference that was supposed to signal the new modern Saudi Arabia was embarrassingly abandoned by some of its top companies like Apple and JP Morgan. This has already been a disaster for Saudi Arabia. The Crown Prince has certainly had his wings clipped. He was the West's guy, and his vision for the Middle East seemed perfectly aligned with the USA's. Now that his image has been tainted, that marriage is on the rocks, and public opinion may find it more difficult to look away from now on, with other human rights abuses and the terrible situation in Yemen. The honeymoon's over. Isn't that how you eat biscuits?